Alrighty, today's video is about the Kids Help phone line. This is a service that is available to all the children across Canada, and support's available through a variety of sources. So I'm going to spend a couple of minutes sharing what I've learned so far, which is limited. But before we get into the actual services by the Kids Help phone line, and the URL is right here, kidshelpphone.ca. So obviously there are two P's in there. And yeah, before I get into the details, so this is the definition of what ought to be considered a child. And considering that there are different, I guess it is anywhere from 19 and under. So if you are under 19 years old, I believe you can call or a text, or there's a variety of ways to get in contact with the counselors and the crisis support line. So I'm going to talk about that in a second. But yeah, this is the general definition. I would think that if you are over 19, you could still try calling. I don't know what the official policy is. I didn't go to the FAQ, but that's what the definition is, I guess, officially. So once you go to the main website, there's a variety of different ways to get in contact with the service. You could text the Kids Help phone line, and the number to text is I think it is 878787. But yeah, no, I don't want to open up my I don't want to share I messaged my daughter, so I don't want to share my daughter's messaging contact with the world. But yeah, anyway, so I'll share the I'll share the actual here we go. So if you want to text them, you can text. Hang on. Oh, 686868. I think the American one is the one I mentioned. So that's if you're in the States, you can there's a crisis line or a Kids Help phone line. It's called something else, but it's for kids in the United States. To text in Canada, you text this number, and this service is available 24/7. Okay. Phone calls different, and I believe there's two different kinds of phone lines. I could be wrong. You can call the counselor directly, and if you want to, that is the number. I could be wrong with sharing the information in this website, because I spent like less than half an hour on the site. And the notes I have in front of me are the notes. So this is the number. It's 1-800-668-6868. Maybe that's where anyways. So this is the number for getting in touch with a counselor. There is also a crisis support line. Here we go. Here's both of the information for the text and the phone number, right? So the crisis support line, there's another one. There's a variety of different services, but those are primarily the two ways to the two primary ways to get in touch. Well, again, I'm wrong. So there's also the Facebook Messenger. So this is what you would click to get to that. This is what I was trying to refer to. There's a live chat option that is available from 7 p.m. Eastern till midnight Eastern. And during this time, you can connect with a professional counselor, and more information is here. And there may be other resources. So if you click on this resources around me section, and I'm just gonna put a made up, I don't really live in Toronto core, but say if I did, and I was a child and I wanted to find service, or I was a parent and I wanted to find services near me, This is one of the avenues through the Kids Help phone line. So let's see what this comes back with. I have not reviewed this information as of yet. Wow, there's a lot of information here, and there are a ton of resources in this geographic region, which I personally don't live in. But there's help for counseling and mental health support in the following sub areas, and there's seems like there's a lot of counseling related services available. There's assistance for violence and abuse related support. So obviously, again, there's different subcategories. That also includes bullying, different kinds of violence, abuse, information on helplines. Then there's information on health. Health is of different kinds. Again, it looks like helplines are a common theme in these subcategories, which is good. I've heard good things about. I don't reckon I've ever called a helpline. I've called mental health related services, let's be honest, for myself and for others to be able to find out what services are there, and what services should we leverage in order to be able to assist others. And I can share the information, obviously, but I always get really good tactical advice on what should be done, and to be able to come up with a game plan, because I don't try to wing it when it comes to somebody else's well-being. And I default to trained evidence-based practitioners that are available in this part of the world, and I try to go through a accredited institution supported by the local government. So that's always my default take when it comes to seeking help for myself or others. Okay, anyway, so come back to the resources. There's housing and homelessness support. I had no idea that this section even existed. There's jobs and money support. There's indigenous support services, friendship centers and band offices, support for indigenous clients. Looks like there's a lot of help available for indigenous clients. I don't know if that's 81 different institutions, but that looks like a really healthy number there. There's drugs, alcohol, and gambling support. There's support for LGBTQ2S and support services. I think 2S stands for Two Spirit. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna Google that afterwards. Newcomer support services. A lot of services again, and legal and advocacy support. So this is a very interesting resource, and I didn't know about this up until right now. And you can get to it from the following page. Actually, I clicked right here. It's when it loads up, it's one of the boxes here, resources around me. So yeah, this is the primary information. You can search for something you're looking for. Then when you scroll down, there's different articles that are highlighted based on the theme. So right now it's the National Indigenous History Month, Pride Month in Canada, and featured content. I was taking a look at this. So yeah, these are the featured, I guess, sub areas, and you can scroll to the right, and there may be some more content. Seems like a fairly healthy range of topics that are being addressed. Next is the section for the resource galaxy. So in this, I didn't spend a lot of time here, but once you go in here, you can navigate through a map of sorts. And I think this is a really good way to showcase information, because depending on what you're thinking and feeling. And if you want to like take a little bit of agency of your well-being in addition to, I could be wrong. What I'm about to say next. So I don't know what the best thing to do is. If I was a child and I need help, and want to talk to somebody other than my parents, or my siblings or some people I trust in a safe environment where my privacy is protected, I would call the kids help phone line, right? And in addition to that, I would take a look at something like this to in addition to calling, texting, or through one of the means. I would try to like do a little bit of homework myself. So maybe I was having some, I wanted to understand my mental health better. So I would click here. And once I click there, this is a very simple, I just got to move the screen. This is a very simple graph that explains, you know, what is mental health, the wheel of the well-being, and some tips and suggestions to boost your mood. So if I wanted to get more information, I would just click here and that would take me to the right resource, right? So that's a big part of taking agency over your own well-being. I have done this throughout my life, and I've mentioned this again. I think it's not, particularly in the domains of health. Every situation is different, right? So I'm not talking about the chronic set of situations, or situations that are very complex. But I believe each one of us can and should take agency over our own well-being, whether it's mental health, nutrition, relationships, health of different kinds. And this is what I'm talking about, like doing your due diligence and spending your time. If we all have 16 hours each day, because you sleep 8 hours, and if you work or go to school for 8 hours, you still have a big chunk of time. And I think some portion of that time should be not should be, but must be spent towards enabling your well-being. And well-being is in different dimensions: spiritual, emotional, relationships, not exactly in that order, financial, uh, so on and so forth, right? So yeah, take the agency, do your due diligence. So yeah, so that was like one of the sections. And like another day, I want to learn a little bit more about how to communicate my feelings. So I would click this section, and these would be some of the resources I would review. I've been actually thinking about this recently. This is hold on. Looks like you can move stuff around. Uh, why is this saying this? Why did the icon change here? Okay, I just want to click here. I've been thinking about this, asking for support. I don't ask for support very often, other than the the things I've mentioned. Actually, that's not true. I talk to mental health practitioners. I call or I reach out to the crisis helplines. In the past, I've done so. I ask my friends for help. I ask them to join my team. It depends, but like the things like there where I'm struggling, like let's be honest, housing or finances, I don't reach out for help necessarily. I don't want to be a burden on anybody else, but yeah, I think maybe like we will leverage some of the resources here. This is really good information here. But yeah, this is what I would do. I would, look at this. Oh, I have this tab open. Mental health services. I think it's this one. Nope, that's the last one. Where is it? I know I have it open here. It's one of the first texts. I think I navigated away from this page, so let's open it up again, okay? Because that's an important page. Anyway, so this is the Galaxy, and I think this is a very good tool. It just helps you to narrow down and saves you time. With regards to this is the advantage of having things organized in a structured format, and I think this is a very good structure, right? So let's go back to the main page. I need my eyeglasses. That's a comment on the side, obviously. So like I said, yeah, there's ways to get in touch. These are, again, all the ways. Then there's more information on counseling, what counseling is. So you can read this paragraph. If you have more questions, you can click on the Learn More section. Oh, the Learn More section takes you to this page. Okay, all right. So we already have this open, so we're going to review that in a second. Let's go to the footer, the bottom of this page, and there's obviously the promise with regards to protecting privacy, that services are available 24/7. Most of the services are available 24/7. The core services, the no judgment environment, and there's more information how this happens. There's link to pages on social media, and there's links to donate, career section, which I've not reviewed, other sections and a way to get in contact if you have any questions that haven't been answered in the FAQ, or you have some feedback, as well as the charitable registration number. So this is what I see on the main page. And again, the ways to get in contact is here. The number is here to call. There's a button to donate here as well. If you speak French, there's a French version of the website, and the link to the French version of the Kids Help phone line is this URL, which I'm not gonna try to pronounce. But the URL is JEUNESSEJECOUTE.ca. Okay, so this is the main website. This is the first tab. There are two other tabs. I might as well do a overall review. So this is the way to get involved. I'm going to review some of that information here because there are opportunities for, particularly for children and youth. I think it's up to 24 years to get involved. Is like this one in particular, but the other ways to get involved is to obviously donate your funds. There are events that they host on an ongoing basis, and there's a community section. Okay, so that's the second tab, and the third tab is Inside. So this is where they have the analytics with regards to. I was taking a look at this earlier. So these are the word cloud. Like I'm thinking this signifies the kind of issues that children have. There's links to data from across Canada, youth issues, youth outcomes, FAQ. I have not reviewed this, but there I was reading this, and the testimonials are a pretty good way to gauge what the service is. So the first testimonial highlighted says, young people, no matter how mature they seem, need guidance and support and love and understanding. The second highlighted, the second review that's highlighted says, sometimes all we need is for someone to stand there and say, I'm here for you and I support you. So the first two reviews are by individuals in between the ages of 18 to 20. And the third one, that would answer the question. I guess if you are over 19, you can still call the help phone line. Here you go. That answers that question that I had earlier. The third testimonial says, there's times when we're genuinely hurting inside, and it doesn't help when it's dismissed. Yeah, I was reading up on this last week, and if a child reaches out to you about something, you need to acknowledge those feelings. Because you're not acknowledging those feelings, that's not healthy, because the feelings, I would say it's for anyone, but particularly children, because their brain's still forming and developing. But if you don't acknowledge the feelings of children, then that's not good. On the other hand of the spectrum, acknowledging the feelings is really good because it develops, it fosters confidence in children, and they feel more safe come to you and talk about what's been bothering them. That's very important. And if they feel that you disregard that aspect or something else, then that just sets not a good, like, you want to set the right precedent for the future. So tune in to the feelings, acknowledge the feelings, and lean in and listen. Right? I'm not trained to give advice here, but I could be giving bad advice, but that's not intentional. So just go to Kids Help phone line and see what they have to say on this, because they have their counselors and crisis responders are individuals who are trained to assist um, through an accredited institution. Well, so there's some statistics on where people are contacting the Kids Help phone line from. On average, in a single day, this is how many times children reach out to the service through text, and this is how many times children reach out through phone from across Canada, right? And in terms of the breakdown, here's the age-based breakdown. These are the average conversations through texting and phone. I noticed this, there's a lot of issues related to anxiety, stress, relationship-specific issues, depression, and each one of these areas is obviously super important, but all these issues are super important. But that seems like like a lot of kids are like, this seems like a big chunk of what kids are going through. And I wonder how this has changed after COVID, particularly the isolation aspect and maybe other mental health issues. These are the issues discussed via text. This is interesting because issues discussed via phone are, it looks like children are more likely to, or maybe with the help of their parents, more likely to pick up the phone and talk about mental and emotional health related issues. Okay. So yeah, there's some other statistics. I noticed that time of the breakdown is 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. is where majority of the, I don't know if this is phone or text, but I think this is why they have that section where you can get in touch with, I forget what it's called. It's on the main page. I'll go back in a second, but this is why they changed that from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. But considering that 21% of the calls are also coming in after 4 p.m., maybe it should be from all the way from 4 or 3:30 to from 3 to midnight, because a lot of kids go to bed early, right? By 8 o'clock, 8:30, some kids are in bed, so have supper 6:37, and brush your teeth and wrap up and in bed. So opening up that window from like 3 o'clock and onwards would create a big chunk of calls could come in during that time from 3 to 7, and then 7 to midnight, something like that. But yeah, so this 8 to 12 is like, I think this is correlated with right now with this one, the live chat, right? I wonder what the difference between this is and just calling a counselor. Okay, anyway, so that's the main page, the mental health related services, that's the URL, and it has information on how can you contact the Kids Help phone for support. So that is the information. They're saying they may refer you to another service like Wellness Together Canada's website or the Crisis Text Line Canada. It's 741741. I think maybe that's why I mixed up some of the numbers. What can you contact the Kids Help phone about? So this is where the document is. It could be any issue, big or small, something on your mind, bullying, abuse, friends and family, emotional well-being, and more, as we have noticed with regards to the different kind of segments of or kind of range or of subjects that kids talk about. But it could be any issue. So just pick up the phone and text or call. If you don't have a phone, you can call to Facebook Messenger. There's a variety of different ways to get in touch. You can call from your phone or your computer. They have information on that as well if you don't have Facebook. So there's a clause here that they don't offer medical services, but they can refer you to somebody who can. This is information on what kind of services are offered. I think this is important to highlight that the Kids Phone mental health related services include phone, text message, online chat support. There are one-on-one services that are free and available in English and French. I was thinking about this question, if the services are free, and yes, they are. Each time you reach out, you'll be interacting with a different counselor or crisis responder, which is good, I think. I would defer to the judgment of people who've been doing this for a while, and they have experts helping them. And they're saying you can learn more about each one of our mental health services below. So there are 2 videos here. This is the first one. It's a short 1.5-minute video. I'm not gonna play it right now, so you can review this. There's a video transcript. There's more information about which number to text, which is 686868. This is where I mixed the number. Okay. Now, then they're saying next they will put you in touch with a trained volunteer crisis responder, and they have a URL or hyperlink to what that means. Right? I think they should say trained evidence-based volunteer crisis responder. Anyways, who will listen to you and help you sort your feelings. You can use a cell phone to text in anytime. Then they're saying your texting conversation with crisis responder is confidential. To find more about what it means, check out our texting services privacy policy, which includes information on duty to report. You can text directly from here. I don't know, you could text from your phone or your computer. That's pretty cool. Okay. Well, so if somebody opened this, they clicked on this link from their phone, then it would create a text message. I see. Okay, all right. Yeah. So the site is, okay, I'm just thinking out loud. And this is the other video that I was talking about on how Kids Help phone support, how Kids Help phone line can support you over the phone. So if you were a child or a parent of a child, this is the the 1.5-minute video, and the transcript again is here. This is the number again. It's the same number as this one. Then they're talking about how when you call them, they'll connect you with one of the professional counselors. So when you text, you are put in contact with a trained volunteer crisis responder. And when you call, it looks like you're put in contact with a professional counselors. Maybe, okay, so I'll just go with the information that's on the website. And the counselors will listen and ask questions to help you navigate through challenges and think about the next steps that work for you. Your phone conversations with a counselor is confidential and anonymous. To find out more about what that means, check out our phone services privacy policy, which includes information on duty to report. Okay, so then you tap this from your phone and it's gonna connect you with a professional counselor. Remember, it's confidential and anonymous, meaning you don't have to identify yourself and your privacy is respected, right? There's an online chat feature, so that is the information on that. This is the URL. You can also get to it from the main page through the chat feature. The service will connect you with one of the professional counselors. Same thing as above. Same thing as above. Your conversations are confidential and anonymous. Okay. How else can I get mental health support and info? This is the other section. So these are some of the other resources through Facebook Messenger. The resources around me section is also available from the main page. But there are some additional resources here. I didn't see this on the main page. Goodtotalk.ca. So this is available for post-secondary students in Ontario and Nova Scotia. This doesn't look like it's Canada-wide. So confidential support services for what I just shared. There's the Wellness Together Canada portal, which has been mentioned in other parts of the website. This portal is available for anyone in Canada. I cannot confirm or deny that I also make use of this portal or not. But I've been to their website and it's well thought out. And I think people should check it out for sure. Check it out. Crisis Text Line Canada, similar to Crisis Text Line powered by Kids Help Phone, but anyone in Canada can text 741-741 for free 24/7 support. Kids Help Phone Insights, which we were reviewing earlier. And they're saying in general, you can spend more time on the Kids Help Phone line to look stuff up, find what you need on your own, like I was sharing earlier, take agency over your own well-being. That's my word, not theirs. You can also try our interactive tools and games. I don't work for them. Read stories from young people and explore their articles for tips, info, and inspiration. There's a chatbot named Kip who can help, and the chatbot can help you navigate through the content. I think this is the guy. I was wondering what this is. Let's click on it. I couldn't see him because there's a Zoom panel that is always polite to ask robots how are they doing today. That's good. Yeah, okay, so he's saying, okay. So let's say I would like some assistance with, let's say I'm 15-year-old, right? With, and I need some assistance with what? Let's say I just need some assistance. They're saying, I don't understand. I need some help with mental health. Oh, well, okay, let's go along with stress right now. Let's see what it says. They're saying some tools and games or more information. I would like more information for now. Okay, so it's pointing you back to the article for the e-mental health support. Okay, they're saying anything else you need help with. I need some help. Someone is, how should I say this? I need some help. Someone is, I need to talk to someone. Let's keep it simple, right? I need to talk to someone. So saying you can reach out to a professional counselor using the call button, right? So you can actually call and text directly from here. So if you are like, if you are a child watching this or a parent of a child and you wanted to get to information, then you could just use KIP. And the KIP is even on the main page available right here. This is the guy, right? I'm Kip, your website helper. Okay. And I'm just going to shift to this tab. Let's do one example, then we'll shift and we'll wrap up this video. It's become longer. I need help with anxieties. Let's say somebody's experiencing anxiety. Yes, that is right. I'm looking for anxiety or panic. So they're asking you, you want to help with coping strategies or understanding anxiety? I want coping strategies right now because I've done my research before. Let's assume. Okay, so it's coming back with an article. Okay, I need to. Okay, let's keep it to this. So this is an example of the chatbot, right? So you can close it from here. You can, I guess, give some feedback. Yes, I want to end this conversation. That was all right for a chatbot. Close this. So there's some more information here. Everything that's here, you can mostly get it from the main website. There's resources for caring as adults. So I've opened it here. I'm going to talk about that later. And so, yeah, this is it. And what is next? Yeah. So this is the information on, again, the phone line. If you have more questions, then you can get to Kids Help phone line /call. I don't know why all of this trailing text appears. I guess my browser does that to synthesize information. But this is the FAQ regarding the call, or like a brief information on if you have any questions about that. I think this is covered through one of the earlier pages where the 2 videos were highlighted. FAQ regarding texting is on this URL. So same URL /text-FAQ /, not just /, /. Okay. And yeah, all the FAQs are here, including questions like, will the phone number show up on my bill? How's the service funded? And like we touched base earlier, services in the United States. So if somebody happens to be from the United States watching this, then you can text this number 741-741 for support. Okay, let's move on. In terms of who we are, who the Kids Help Phone people are, I'm not, again, representative of this institution. I've never worked there. I've never volunteered there. So this is a little bit of information about what the company is or institution and what they do. Support is offered both in English and French. There's a bit more information. If you want to find out more, there's a history section, when it was created. So it's been operational for more than 30 years, if I did my math right. Yeah, there we go. And, this is the range of services that they offer. There's a bit more information about their counselors, more information about their crisis responders, and how your privacy is protected. Okay, let's move on to the next tab. This is, I opened up that section from the FAQ on the information on our counselors, on the Kids Help Phone line counselors. And the counselors are, they have a diverse educational background in the following fields, including youth mental health and well-being. They recognize the strengths of young people by helping them find solutions to their own struggles and encouraging them to take steps towards resolving their own challenges. Wonderful, wonderful. And counselors are supported by a talented and clinically skilled group of counseling managers who also come from diverse backgrounds and possess varying degrees and training. The counselors are always there supporting young people wherever and whenever they need them the most. And this is a bit more information about how counseling actually works. Okay. During the counseling, the counselor may ask you questions, help you learn more about your situation. A counselor will work with you to come up with solutions to next steps together. Counselors are always there to listen to you. There's a link to the privacy policy. The same thing, but for the crisis responders. That information is here. Most of the information I would think is pretty much the same, but I think the crisis responders may have a different set of training versus the counselors. And the list of crisis responders may include professionals, students, teachers, or anybody with an internet connection and a willingness to learn how to support people over text. Before starting their first texting conversation, crisis responders complete 36 hours of online training. They're trained to recognize that everyone experiences the world differently. This can be because of different identities, cultures, social factors, access to mental health support, and many other things. They use this understanding to move through the conversations with dignity and respect. Their number one goal is to create a safe space for you to share whatever you'd like. That's an actual quote from a crisis responder. To me, being a crisis responder means being compassionate and listening without judgment. Okay, there's other quotes and more information. Again, there's a section on how you can get more help and support. Okay, what else did I have here? This is a section. This is where we. So I already covered this. This is our mental health services section. So this is when I was trying to find it earlier. I just had too many tabs open. This is the volunteer section. This is the one I was referring to earlier. So if you are if you are a child from between this age group, well, if you're 24, you're not going to be a child, but it's been 4 or 5 years since you were a teenager, I guess, and so you can relate, I guess, to kids more because you were a kid 5 years ago. And I guess that's why this is the age range I'm thinking. But this is the section for if you wanted to volunteer, right? And all the information is here. I just shared this with somebody in my family. Applications are closed for this year. Come back in summer 2021 to apply. I think they haven't updated their page. So maybe somebody can message them and let them know that this needs to happen. I don't know why it says NYC. That's something I have not looked into. Yeah. So that's, yeah, if you want to volunteer though, you would contact them through this section or send them a message overall. Last but definitely not the least, this is the Kids Help phone lines, Kids Help phones accessibility plan. So they're saying they are committed towards providing the service by basically removing barriers that may exist for some individuals. And this is the range. Assistive devices. So somebody could be using assistive devices. It could be a teleprompter or text to voice. Somebody could be blind, maybe Braille. So I don't know how this really works, but that's what I think of when I think of assistive devices. People with disabilities may have different means or needs to be able to communicate. So that's taken into consideration. Service animals. So service animals are welcome. I'm thinking most of the sessions are happening virtually, but support person. Okay, you have a support person, that's okay. And then there's other information. This accessibility plan also includes the fact that the employment being made available to the Kids Help phone line adheres to the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disability Act, AODA, and the Human Rights Code. This means that Kids Help Phone will provide accommodations to applicants with disabilities throughout the full cycle recruitment process based on their needs. Okay. So yeah, there's more information. If you have feedback, you can contact the Kids Help phone line through there. What is the last? Okay, the last tab I have open is resources for caring adults. I saved this link because this is the link that's most relevant for me, right? If I want to be in a capacity to share information with somebody, then just sending the links may not be enough. And so there's more information on how to build those relationships, being mindful of pronouns with regards to gender identity and other identities. COVID related response, tips to support young people with body image, self-esteem, very important. All these are very important. Back to school during COVID, obviously kids are like going virtual and school's off till September, or till the end of the year, it's going to be virtual. All of these changes, it's tough. It's tough on everybody, especially children. And move on to they're all serious issues, but severe thoughts, suicidal thoughts, how to support young people having those thoughts. I have no idea what to do in that situation. So if I ever encountered a situation like that, I hope I never have to, but if it happens, then I would educate myself on that topic first. I wouldn't try to wing it. These are things, when it comes to well-being, particularly any kind of well-being, I would say, not just mental health. Say somebody has a physiological issue, right? Aches or pain, could be anything. I wouldn't try to use a home-based remedy and keep trying to do that when it's not working, right? This is why you default to the evidence-based practitioners. And same with mental health. If somebody's going through a mental health crisis, could be seasonal depression, could be something as serious as suicidal thoughts, I would really, really not trying to, I'm actually very careful of what I share. So this is why I default to redirect to the appropriate resources, which are in the domain of evidence-based practitioners. I think even though your intentions may be really good, you may end up doing some harm because you may share some information with somebody that doesn't work. So that's going to make that situation work, whether it's things like taking homeopathy, or I made another video about mental health where I was talking about superstition and pseudoscience, or just plain bad advice, like I'm having these thoughts. Just no, you're not having these thoughts. That would be the response. Go and do this, and the thoughts are going to go away. And that could be something superstitious, and that's really bad advice. So don't do that. If you're a parent or a caregiver, please educate yourself and learn. And I got to do that too. Nobody's like, I'm not an expert in this area. So I default to a place whereby somebody's been doing this for many decades and it's backed by some body of like evidence-based practitioners. So anyway, so there are other resources here for parents and caregivers, or let's call like resources for caring adults. That's what it's called. And these are some of the other resources. What to do when a young person confides in you. Actually, I'm going to read this afterwards. How to help the young person in your life. How to talk to the young person in your life about sexuality. Children may have questions about growing up and body and, body image and sexuality. So how do you have these conversations in an open, inclusive environment? How to help a young person with sleep challenges, how to have an open conversation with a young person. There are other materials, and then again, the resources section. All right, so this wraps up this meeting. I'm used to saying meeting because I do meetings on Zoom. This wraps up this review of the Kids Help phone line. I found out about the Kids Help phone line today. And it seems like this is a very, very good resource. I was talking to somebody from Mumbai, India. Or I was talking to somebody from India in general. Or let's say I was talking to somebody from another part of the world, and it would be really amazing to have the Kids Help phone line scale to a global model, right? And there's a lot of problems in the world, and I'm not going to go into my longer thing here, but children are the future, and this is a great service. This is a really good service, because much as I try and my intentions may be really good, and there may be many parents out there, and uncles and aunts and big brothers and sisters, we may not be trained to provide information about particular issues or topics, and or we may not have that relationship. Unfortunately, fortunately, I guess it depends on the situation. So it's really good that this service exists. And another reason is that a lot of people can't afford counseling or even interventionist techniques, if you want to call it that. And so this is a really good resource. I haven't used it myself, but the fact that it exists is really good. I'm interested to see like what kind of feedback do the participants get? What kind of feedback do the children really get? But I would be like, if it wasn't good information, then the institution would not be in existence for 30 plus years. So this is my introductory video to the Kids Help phone line, or you can say this is a review of the service, not just the website, because there's a variety of ways in which to get in touch with them. I want to just close with like my brief, I guess, story. When I was growing up in Karachi, there was nothing like this. I'm not complaining. I had questions about a lot of things, and I just didn't have, it was my friends or my biological family and my teachers, and that was pretty much it. I grew up in very good environment or environments, so I don't have any complaints. But there were questions about, identity and other things that I didn't have answers to. So if there was a Kids Help phone line at that time, I would definitely pick up the phone and call that service. And and we don't have this service and like services like these in a big part of the world. And this is the opportunity that I just identified earlier. The other thing I was going to talk about is when I first, I'll just keep the screen like this because I want the focus to be on Kids Help phone line. But the other thing is when I first started taking the agency over my well-being, particularly my mental well-being, There was some, I guess, uh, taboo around it from the perspective of, uh, I'm not doing this as, again, a broad brushstroke, but growing up in South Asia, just seeking help was a taboo, because if you did that, then somebody may say something's wrong with that person. The words that were used were things like uh, nutcase. That's one of the word. You know, like people who do this thing, you know, something wrong with them, you need help, and they would make it sound like it's a really bad thing. Hey, something's wrong with you. You have mental issues. You need help. You know, like kind of like that. So it just created, I think, a negative environment for seeking help in the first place. So I think what I'm trying to say is those experiences unfortunately condition you to think and believe that seeking help from a mental health practitioner is going to categorize you as loony, or like, you know, you're not normal anymore. And I still see some people exhibiting these traits around me, and much as I try, I don't know if I can change their perspective by one-on-one conversation. So hopefully, not just kids, but like adults and maybe seniors, if somebody may be watching this, then you, by watching this video, I'm hoping you would realize that, you know, this is very normal. That reaching out for help on the mental health side of things is something that a big part of our human species do, and as this is becoming more and more normal, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help. Because I was thinking about this yesterday, or like earlier today, and I was thinking, and I've made this example a lot of times before, that if something happened, like I got a scratch, I'd put a band-aid, right? Depends on how bad it is, yeah, like a cut or something. But if there was something significant, say I broke a bone, I hope not to, I would go to the hospital. And I was thinking, all of the things that happen in our mind, unless it's a, this is going off topic, but if it's a biological, physiological issue, like a tumor or something doing something in the brain that's impacting something like movement or maybe behavior or something like that, that's one thing. But those issues aside, I guess even in those issues, you need to treat the physiological issue, and then there's a psychological and cognitive, or like a psychological therapy angle to this. But I was thinking, like, particularly with issues of that are memory based, and I think, you know, this is going to be a challenge and also a big opportunity for humans in the future. But to keep it on point, just reaching out and asking for help is the way to go, because everything that is governed in our minds is controlled through our memories. And I don't know how it all works. I'm not going to talk about all that, but just pick up the phone and talk to somebody who's trained to give you advice. Don't talk to somebody who's doing pseudoscience. Don't talk to your friends and family, right? Like, depends on the nature of the issue. But yeah, so the reason I'm talking about this and coming back to what I was talking as a subtopic is my life had, like, you know, no life is perfect. Like, you know, if I assumed everything was perfect in my life, that would be a lie. So there were really tough times in my life, and I fortunately had the, like, just reading books from the library. And, you know, like I've shared, I started learning about, from like much earlier, not in my 30s, about reason and science and evidence-based practice. And I was just like really fortunate that those themes, if you may want to refer to them as that, clicked with me and were in my mind. And when I sought help, I kept that into consideration, that it has to be based on reason, it has to be based on evidence-based practice, and that it has to be an environment where I'm not judged based on the issues that I'm bringing forth. Because if that was happening, then we're talking about a medical practice and the medical, like, so anyway, so without going into the detail. But yeah, let's come back to what I was talking about. There was some resistance because I was I was thinking at some point in my life, like if I do reach out and ask for help, will other people think I'm crazy? And how I wrangled with those set of thoughts was I asked myself, well, what is the alternative? What is the alternative? Should I keep living the life that I'm living right now? I've had a very good life, knock on wood. I've traveled, I've worked for some really amazing companies, I've learned so much at work. I've made friends from different backgrounds. Um, and, I'm very fortunate to have lived this life of abundance and affluence. And then things were getting really difficult for me because I had some chronic set of habits, and obviously habits develop over many years. So at that time, they had become chronic, and I had some mental health issues, uh, other issues that were getting chronic. Uh, you know, uh, tough time basically, like Steve Jobs used to call it. Actually, I don't want to use that example right now. But yeah, I just put one foot in front of the other, and I enabled my basics: exercise, sleep, nutrition, and I just let go of the relationships that were not serving me. I'm not talking about any one individual. Please, like if somebody's watching this, I'm not talking about you. I just I did a I did a complete reset. I literally let go of everyone that was in my life because it just wasn't working for me. And I just that's an extreme route. I'm not recommending that route, and I'm just talking about my experiences. And um, yeah, you don't have to struggle. You don't have to go to that extent. The thing I should have done from the get go is just pick up the phone and make the call. And it took me a couple of years to make that first call. I was kind of like, I don't know if I need therapy. And I like kind of toyed around with that idea. I was working on my first startup, and I was going through a divorce. I'm like, I got like, the schedule's pretty busy as it is. But the thing is, like, if something's not optimized, the cognitive or the mental function controls so much of your well-being. And if that's not optimized, then it impacts everything else in your life. So yeah, I just at some point I realized I need to do this, and I showed up for all the sessions. I think this goes back. I don't want to like say the time frame, but I did the work. Then I stopped doing it for some reason because I went for group therapy, and I realized, no, that wasn't like. So I went back and I went for therapy again for 3 years, and yeah, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to make this a longer thing. I don't want to talk too much about my experience. All I'm trying to say is there was a lot of resistance perceptually or like based on conditioning or whatnot, to go this route of taking over ownership of my well-being. Um, and I felt like I was coming from an environment whereby there was a lot of fear involved with doing so. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of ignorance. There's a lot of illiteracy surrounding what I just shared. Somebody's not feeling well cognitively or psychologically, and they need assistance. But it seems like there's a lot of resistance to doing so because of what I just shared. And it seems very difficult, but you need to keep taking that step. You need to take the first step, and you need to stick with it. Because like I said, what is the alternative? The alternative is that whatever you are dealing with is just going to keep happening. For how long? And how will that impact your life? And think of the world the way it is. Like, it's a beautiful world. The trees are there, the plants are there, the flowers are there, the water is there. There are wonderful people all over the world. And we can't enjoy that, whether you are a child or whether you're an adult, because something in our mind is holding it back, right? And so anyway, so to keep it short and sweet, to bring it to the topic, you got to make the call. You got to start, you got to reach out. You got to make that first call. Text, phone, messenger, live chat, other resources around you. There are resources around you, right? You got to leverage those resources today, you know. So make the call. If you're in Canada, and you're a child, you're watching this, please reach out to the Kids Help phone, okay? And don't be scared. Don't be scared. Everything's gonna be fine. It's all about taking that first step. So yeah, make the call. Reach out to the people who are trained to assist you. They've been doing this for many decades. It's a very safe environment. If it wasn't, it would not be operational for such a long time. And if it didn't work, that would also be true. So there's something going on here. And it's been happening for 30 years of success, 30 plus years. So take the agency, make the call. If you need some support, gather your sibling around you or your parents, right? Unfortunately, in some situations that may not work out, then you find a I actually can't recommend. I don't know what the recommended course of action is. If I was a child, I would just make the call, right? Make the call. Just make the phone call or the text or the any one of these means to contact, and keep that communication going. Keep it consistent. Consistency is key. One or two times is not going to be enough. You gotta contact and then be honest, you know, take your time depending on the situation. Anyway, so I don't know what I'm talking about. So just reach out, connect, take notes, follow through on the recommendations, and if you have support around you, gather support, and you're not alone, right? You're not alone. Canada is a wonderful country, is one of the best places to live in the world. So we have this service. Let's make use of it. And this is my video for today. Okay. All right. This is videos for kids. I don't think I've made a lot of videos for kids. This is a good service. Let's help out. Kids Help phone line for all the adults watching this, and for the children. You can reach out right now. If you think everything's good on the mental health side of things, maybe you can volunteer, right? Volunteering is a great way to learn new things, make friends, and contribute to a good cause. Okay, video has turned out slightly longer than I expected, but I hope that's okay. I hope this review helps. Even if a review helps one individual out there, then my work is done. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Stay awesome. Exercise regularly. Eat good food, and sleep on a good schedule. And watch the 4 or 5 people. Actually, I did 4, but it's 5 people that you spend your time with. My 5th domain is psychotherapy, and that's covered through the mental health services there. And my 6th domain is resiliency. Resiliency. Be resilient. Setbacks happen. Make the call. Talk to somebody. Enable your well-being. Get back up and do great things. But today, if you are in trouble or you just want to talk, please connect with Kids Help phone line. Alrighty, have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.